What's good, guys? This is Vahagraphy. I'm Vahagan, your rock and roll photographer. Welcome to my video where we'll be comparing the Nikon Z 14-30 f4S lens to the much more expensive 14-24 2.8S Z lens. Some key features that the 14-24 has over the 14-30: a lens display that displays focus information, zoom info, and aperture settings, a customizable ring on the lens, and a lens function button. Now, this lens is a little larger than the 14-30. It weighs just a little more, and the price is $1,100 more. Is it worth it? Well, we're going to find out in this video. Before we get into the sample images and video clips shot on the Z9, the 14-24 is ready to shoot at camera startup. The 14-30, you need to set the zoom ring to a position where the camera can start shooting. Now, it does extend out like that, as you see in this video clip. The 14-24 does not do that when zooming, which I prefer. The less expensive 14-30 has a filter thread of 82 millimeters. On the 14-24 side of things, you can use 112 millimeter filters, ND filters, or polarizers. The lens comes with two hoods and two front caps, which I'll show you a little later in this video. Technically, these filters cost more money, so keep that in mind. By using the extra hood that the 14-24 comes with, that lets you adapt the 112 millimeter filters. I'll show you what that looks like a little later in this video. On the screen, I'm showing you the tech specs of each lens, just in case you were curious. The lens hood is called the HB97, which lets you adapt the filter right on the lens hood, and it does come with an additional cap that looks massive. Here is a closer look at that lens cap and that filter holder hood. So first up, some sample images taken at 14 millimeters. We got the 14-30 here at 14 millimeters at f4, 14-24 14 millimeters at f4. Let's compare them side by side here. Let me know in the comments if you see differences. Let me crop in here to that same image. The results are very close in these examples. If you're looking for more reach, this is the long end on both lenses in these examples right here. Focus accuracy and focus speed was not an issue with both lenses. They both did a phenomenal job. Now let's transition over to video clips. 4K video shot with the Nikon Z9. First up, we got the 14-30. I'm at 14 millimeters at f14 at ISO 64. I did not have an ND filter with me, so I had to stop the aperture down to f14, ISO 64 at 14 millimeters, wide end, panning from left to right. Here is the 14-24, same settings, 14 millimeters, f14, ISO 64. I did notice that the 2.8 lens, although shot at f14, was just a little brighter in my eyes. Both the sample images and these video clips that you see in this review are straight out of the camera, no processing, no grading whatsoever. Here's a side by side. Do you see what I see in this example? Leave me a comment down below. Let me know your observations with these examples right here. Also, pay attention to the edges of the frame on both lens examples. Now here is an example I want to show you. The 14-30 at the long end doing video, much more reach than the 14-24. This is the 14-24 2.8, and let's go ahead and zoom in to 24 millimeters. Less reach, however, both these lenses are doing an excellent job. Now my question is, the million-dollar question is, do you see a difference? Let's take some more examples here. 14 millimeters at 5.6, same exact settings on the camera. Here at 30 millimeters and at 24 millimeters. Do you see a difference? Another example at 7.1. Let me crop in heavy to this image so we can see if we see any difference. Now let me show you the edge of this frame. See if you see a difference. On the screen you see the full frame image. Here are the edges on both lenses. Now if you were to ask me so far with these samples, the examples are very close. I would love to hear your observations in the comments below. Here is 4K video again, shot in zoom in and out with the 14-24 so you could see the difference. Let's switch lenses on the Z9. Let's go with the 14-30 f4, and let's zoom into 30 millimeters here. So, you can kind of get an idea of the quality you're getting with each lens. Now, let's do something I've never done before. Let's crop in while doing video on the edge of the frame and compare it. Here is f16 14-24mm at 2.8, the edge of the frame. You see the full clip in the center there. So that's the edge of the frame. Now let's switch lenses to the 14-30. Edge of the frame. Am I seeing a little more distortion with the 14-30 at the edges? Are you seeing a cleaner results with the 14-24? Just a little bit, I think. Leave me a comment. Now, how does each lens do while shooting directly into the sunlight? Here, 14-30 at f4, 7.1, and f22, the star. Let's compare the quality with the sun star. f2.8, f4, 7.1, and f22 with the 14-24. Now here's each lens wide open, side-by-side comparison, and f22 side-by-side comparison. Now here we're close focusing on an object, comparing bokeh, here's at f4, and the 2.8 lens at 2.8. So my takeaway from all of this, you're paying more money for a lens with more features, the ability to shoot in lower light conditions. Believe it or not, that 2.8 to f4 difference makes a huge difference when you need more light. Now, as far as quality, you be the judge of that. Do you see a quality difference? I love the fact that the 14-24 is ready to shoot when I turn on the camera. I don't need to set the zoom ring to a position ready to shoot. Now here's an extra fun little tidbit. Can we put the iPhone video quality versus real camera to rest? Here's Z9 with the 14-24 2.8 versus an iPhone at night. I don't want to hear that argument ever again. Sure, the iPhone's great during the day, but at night... And to end this video, here's some shots taken with the Z9 14-24 2.8 of the famous Harbor House Cafe, open 24 hours, great food. When you're hungry, late at night, awesome spot to hit up. Hey, what's good guys? Vahagan here from Vahagraphy. If you like more rockin' videos like this one, go ahead and check the videos on the screen and subscribe to this channel, Vahagraphy. Rock and roll.